How's it going, everyone? Got quite a lot of PlayStation news and updates to talk about in this video. There have been quite a few leaks that have been happening over the last few days, and it looks like they've got quite a lot of validity to them, so we'll talk all about that. Looks like there's rumblings of a BLOODBORNE Remake project, presumably a remake, maybe a remaster. I mean, a remake of a 2015 title. I mean, 2015 is almost a decade ago at this point, but still, BLOODBORNE from a visual standpoint still looks really good. We'll talk about it. Ghost of Tsushima 2, whatever they ultimately decide to title the game, I think all of us believe that that game is in development, and there are rumblings that the game will be announced sometime this year, potentially May or June at the PlayStation Showcase. Guys, I still have scars from the PlayStation Showcase last year, as you guys might know, but we'll go into that rant once again in this video. I'm sure we'll get to that in a little bit. But first of all, a BLOODBORNE project, presumably a remake, has been teased by the Ghost of Tsushima PC port leaker. Now, this user has been right on the money and noted certainly the game will receive more than just a simple remaster, but it will take time. I imagine that this project is still going to be a little bit of a ways away, maybe a year or two away. I don't think it's going to be in calendar year 2024, potentially fall of 2025. Look, I get it that we all like to meme on BLOODBORNE and a remake and a remaster. You have to be a special level of incompetent to not realize how much money there is to be made by doing some sort of BLOODBORNE release, whether that be a remastered release that is very lazily put together or a full-on remake. I feel like a full-on remake isn't really necessary, given the game came out in 2015. If you want to expand the game, by all means, add new content, I think that would be pretty cool, but a full-on ground-up remake just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think what you do is you up the game's performance, you do a couple of visual bells and whistles, and if you want to expand the game in terms of new content, that's something I would be very, very curious about, and obviously, you release this on PlayStation 5 and PC. You want to print money, Sony? You got a little bit of a light year in 2024, it looks like. How about you make that up in fiscal year 25? BLOODBORNE Remaster being one of those titles that you drop is certainly going to do that. And again, like I said, I get it that it's very fun to meme about it. Oh my god, BLOODBORNE Remake. Oh my god, I don't care about this news. Where's the BLOODBORNE Remaster? Where's the BLOODBORNE PS5 release? Oh my god. Eventually, guys, usually speaking, when we're always like, oh my god, where is XYZ? It happens. Like, I can even go back to, remember pre-2015? People would be just this way about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know if you guys remember back in the late 2000s, really after that Final Fantasy VII tech demo dropped in E3 of, was it 2005, 2006, around then? Every year, people were like, we want the Final Fantasy VII Remake reveal, guys. Final Fantasy VII Remake, we want it now. And like, ultimately, it ended up becoming a meme that people memed about until it wasn't. Then out of nowhere, it just got revealed. Still one of the greatest reveals in E3 history. I go back to that E3 2015 reveal of the FF7 Remake and how that crowd erupted with that trailer. And hey, almost 2 decades from the initial Final Fantasy VII PS3 tech demo, we are getting part 2, or we've gotten part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, so funny how things work. But just for an example, usually when people meme on something ultimately happening in the gaming world, like, if it can print money, ultimately it will happen. Guys, I ultimately think one day, you guys might think I'm crazy about this, but I ultimately do think Half-Life 3 will happen. You guys might think I'm insane. I might not be around in this world to witness the release of it, but I do think one day it'll happen. I know that is a pretty, easy statement to make, given that one day literally extends to forever. So, like, yeah, at some point you would think that Half-Life 3 would happen. Whether or not it happens in my lifetime, I don't know. But I do ultimately think that all of these things that people want, they have to have their finger on the pulse somewhat. Yes, I crap on Sony a lot for like their live service shenanigans and just completely missing having their finger on the pulse on what the PlayStation audience wanted in that regard. However, when it comes to something like the BLOODBORNE project, and especially with their venture into PC gaming as well, they must know the amount of money that is printed on the PC market as well with these Souls-like titles, Soulsborne titles. You could just make money for days and days. So I do think it'll ultimately happen, and it looks like we do have a little bit of validity to that coming from this leaker. The same leaker also noted that Ghost of Tsushima 2 will be announced this year at the PlayStation Showcase in June or May. The source is the same person that adjusted, claiming that the PlayStation blog post would reveal the Ghost of Tsushima PC port. So, Ghost of Tsushima 2, I think we all know is in development. Now, whether or not it's called Ghost of Tsushima 2, I don't know if that'll be the case, but with how Ghost of Tsushima ends, I saw people on social media saying, oh, Ghost of Tsushima was kind of a contained story. It kind of told it to, well, what are you guys talking about with that take? Guys, go play Ghost of Tsushima at the end. By the end of the game, you could tell that Jin Sakai's story is not quite over yet, and there's still things that are going to be done within this universe and within this world, and I do fully expect there to be a sequel. Not only that, with Ghost of Tsushima, the first game, I expect that game to absolutely crush it from a PC commercial standpoint, so I think the monetizability aspect of Ghost of Tsushima 2, not in the sense of, oh, let's add microtransactions, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying re-releasing it on PC, I think this game is going to do exceedingly well. I think this as an IP is going to develop into one of the bigger IPs that PlayStation has in its portfolio. I think it can end up even being bigger than Horizon, because Horizon seems to resonate really strongly with the PlayStation community. I didn't really sense that with the PC community with the release of Horizon. It did okay, but I don't really sense that level of anticipation for Horizon Forbidden West like I do with Ghost of Tsushima. The hype level for Ghost of Tsushima on PC is outrageous. People are super excited about it, and I think that'll parlay into Ghost of Tsushima 2. Don't really notice that with Horizon, but Ghost of Tsushima, absolutely, and I think this is an IP that's just going to continue to develop. Hopefully, it's going to be an IP that Sucker Punch can get a little bit more consistent with in dropping games, you know, every 4 years or so, because Ghost of Tsushima 1 came out back in July of 2020, August of 2020, around that range, and we're probably not going to get Ghost of Tsushima 2 until, what, mid-2025, 2026 at the earliest, and if we're talking 5 to 6 years in between games, I know the world went to hell for a while, but that is just, that's a long time in between games, and, you know, we're talking about Sucker Punch Studio that at one point was dropping, like, Infamous 1 and 2 in the span of 2 years, and now we're waiting 5 to 6 years for games. That's a little disappointing. I get it, these games are getting bigger and bigger, and I'm a broken record as far as that's concerned, and I do know we got the Iki Island expansion, we got the Director's Cut, but man, it would be nice if the turnover for these games was just a little bit quicker, because Sucker Punch is one of those studios that, man, it really does feel like every 5 to 6 years, because after Infamous Second Son, it was, what, 6 years until Ghost of Tsushima, and now Ghost of Tsushima 2, 6 years after Ghost of Tsushima 1, it's just a long time to wait, and the same thing can be said for Guerrilla, where they were dropping Killzone back-to-back, and now Horizon, it's like every 5 years we're getting a new Horizon game. It's just a long time to wait, and I don't know if some of that development did get stunted by their live service push. I don't believe Sucker Punch was working on anything live servicey, but Ghost of Tsushima 2, I think, will be a big announcement, and if it is at the PlayStation Showcase, hopefully it is done in a way where it's not like it's revealed and we gotta wait another 3-4 years. Like, I feel like they do that way too much. Sony does that way too much with these meme garbage trailers, like they did with Wolverine. That trailer was garbage. Concord's trailer was garbage. Fair Game's trailer, garbage. Should I go on and on? A lot of these trailers that PlayStation put out, just absolute atrocity, garbage trailers, and I hope we get, you know, a little bit more insight on the gameplay and things like that, like a gameplay trailer right off the rip, given that it's been 4 years since the release of Ghost of Tsushima 1, I feel like a gameplay trailer is warranted at this stage of the game, and hopefully a release not too far off after that as well, but that should be revealed in May or June, and hopefully the PS Showcase this year is much better than last year, because last year, 0 out of 10 performance, Sony. 0 out of 10 performance as far as that's concerned. They should have been ashamed with their showing last year, because that was absolute garbage that I put at the, you know, in the rankings with, like, Nintendo E3 of 2008. It was legitimately that bad, in my opinion. But that'll do it for me. Again, BLOODBORNE Remake is being teased. We'll see if that ultimately does happen. I do think it'll happen, guys. I get it. Get your memeing in, get all that in, but someday it's gonna happen. Like, whenever there is a license to print money, I feel like that license will be utilized, and Ghost of Tsushima 2 probably going to get revealed later this year. I think most of us were expecting that anyway. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.